No poetry tonight. Tonight I dedicate this space to my friend Tom, an American who is in Ukraine, assisting in the relief and humanitarian efforts. He is the generator of the Lviv Alliance, which I've had in the links I hope you've visited. This is a small part of his latest blog from Ukraine, edited for Time. It's long still, but I'd hope you'd stay with it here. Tom writes, "The triumph of the many via the toil and vision of the few." Over the last nearly 3 months, the world has been impressed by Ukraine and Ukrainians. Guys like Vitaly and Dmytro are already the champions of 2022. Unless he does something truly out of character, Volodymyr Zelensky is going to be Man of the Year on magazine covers, perhaps only challenged by the fighting forces of the ZSU. The praise hoisted upon the president, members of the Rada, and all the way around to ordinary Ukrainians like these two road warriors, and my friend Olya, is deserved. I suspect that magnitude is amplified, however, by how little outsiders knew about Ukraine prior to 2022. It's not one of Europe's high-profile countries, and certainly doesn't see the number of international visitors that France and Italy do. Indeed, many stereotypes of Ukraine emerged from the well-acknowledged trouble it has with corruption, the stories of hackers, scammers, and false mail-order brides. Even in the sporting arena, Ukraine makes a marginal impression internationally, especially when you consider its size relative to its Balkan Slavic cousins. We should quickly note, too, that Ukraine does not have Russia's ongoing problem with state-sponsored doping. Understanding doesn't necessarily improve with proximity either. Obviously, Russians have a now highly distorted view of Ukraine. But I've found a lot of residents of EU and NATO states have had poor perceptions of Ukraine for a long time. Suffice it to say that most people haven't recognized the clarity of national view and cohesion that has grown throughout Ukraine since independence 30 years ago. Perhaps the assumption simply was that in a place that has been so victimized by kleptocrats and mired in the bureaucratic bog that engulfs much of former communist Europe, there would be so little social cohesion and purpose. It's probably a realistic assumption, if not applicable here. And in this is perhaps the thing that most folks abroad really don't get. There is a strong and unbending will by a significant number of Ukrainians to usher their country into a much better future. Some friends of mine can see a future where Ukraine is the quintessential European democracy. I see it in the creative arts, entrepreneurship, and now in the last 2 presidential administrations. They're not interested in being a less gloomy and corrupt version of Russia, but rather a model Western country with a free-thinking, open society that is admired for its ingenuity and talent. Be it Ukraine or the United States, we shouldn't expect any country to be built entirely of heroes. And even among the most successful societies, there will be dull-bludgers and slackers, and miscreants of all magnitudes. Well, within our own lives, we should be allowed to stumble and slumber, so long as we never lose sight that someday we may have the opportunity to serve and sacrifice for a better society. In all of this, I just ask that we don't take every individual case and extrapolate it out to the larger population. I'd suggest that all any reform movement needs is the example of a few heroic moments, and a marginal improvement of the masses to follow such examples. I hope and suspect that we will see this out of Ukraine in the coming years. Tom. I hope you stayed with us. Thank you, Tom. Be safe, spread love, and keep on carrying on the amazing work you're doing. Love to you all. The links to assist Ukraine are in the description. Please use them. I know you get tired of hearing me, but it's still an ongoing need. I will see you tomorrow.